I have been very busy week last week, so I couldn't be here.
Yeah, well, no worries. Alright guys, we're on the air. This is the OSRA Daily, sorry, not the Daily Scrum. This is the OSRA Scrum for Tuesday, March 10th, 2015. Here we have Christian, Gabrielle, and myself. Christian, let's start with you.
Sure. So I've been working on the which one is it? OSRA 377, refactoring the establishment date, the validation of the start
Right.
date. Let me just share the screen because I have a question. Is it visible?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So first of all, here with this thing that we discussed a few minutes ago
Yeah.
about the validation. What I meant here is this line instead of this line. So we keep this.
Okay. Right.
It is returned true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this one makes more sense. Of course, it's quicker. But I'm sure in 1 month or something I will forget that this one is returned true, and it will be, I don't know, harder to read it.
Yeah. I don't see any problem with explicitly returning true instead of relying on a truthy value. So yeah, if you want to change it like that, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not a bad idea because it since it's a predicate.
This one. By default, you expect it to return a date, right?
Well, no, you're expecting it to return true or false.
Why? You're parsing a date.
Sorry, you're expecting the method to return true or
This one
false.
that I select.
Oh, this, yeah. So that will return a date object.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's better if we return true or false.
Yeah. I think that's fine because this valid date. It's a predicate method, so it should be returning either true or false, and this way the return value is made explicit.
Yeah, something like that. And
Yeah.
I know, but because of duck typing, it will be tricky.
Yeah. I think that's fine. The explicit return of true, I have no problem with that.
Okay, cool. The other thing about so here, for example, for the partner stack, for the start date validation, here we are testing happy happy values and sad values of how they are. But when I'm testing this method, this validate method, and doing this testing, I already test this
Yeah.
happy and sad. Okay, so normally here I would only test that validation is included. That would be the, I don't know, the TDD way, or how should I say?
Yeah. There's no need to retest the entire batch of good dates and bad dates.
Yeah. How would you feel secure if I only test that start date is included here? Because I feel more safe if we test this here directly in the partner stack.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I think the way I would look at it is if the helper is thoroughly tested on its own, and you have some kind of a test in the model that says that convincingly shows you that the helper is included, then in that situation, I don't see the need to retest. everything, so I would be okay with just including a simple single test that lets you know that, okay, the helper is included in the model.
No, not the helper. We need to test that the validation is included, like we have to the other validation. No, okay, let's go to response. So it, for example, it expects to validate presence of. It's like it's expected that the presence validation is included. Yeah. And we need now it's included. It's expected to validate start date not beyond blah blah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if shooter matchers can do that.
It can't, but I'm just saying as a logical.
Yeah, you're right. So basically anything that convinces you that that validation is in place.
Yeah.
So your question is how to do it shortly?
Well, this is one option to do it, just to expect that validate, to check if that validation is included in the model, right? Like to check if that validation is included here.
So what exactly? What's the code that you would write to do that?
I think I wrote it here. So for the validation not in future, for example.
Yeah.
We could, if there isn't something like this, but would be nice to have. So we
Sure.
could use is expected to validate date of date not in future of start date, and this only checks that the validation is present on the model. This particular validation.
Yeah, the thing is, if you look at the shooter matchers, for example, it is expected to validate presence of. The way they actually do the test is kind of the brute force way.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so there isn't.
I mean, under the hood, how they work.
Yeah. I mean, we can try to implement something like that ourselves, since this date not in future is used in several models. But I would say, that would definitely go beyond the scope of this PR.
Not really. No,
Yeah, well, I guess maybe it depends on how simply and how quickly you can implement something like that.
Well, yeah, we also have to do it for all three validations. For the presence of, for the beyond establishment date, and date not in future.
Yeah, so basically, whatever is common to several models. Yeah, well, it definitely would be nice to have something like that if you would like to try to write a matcher like that for it, then by all means.
So again, what my question was is that, so this is one way to do it and the right way, but this one feels safer if we directly test what we expect and we not expect.
Well, but then does that mean that you feel unsafe about all the other shooter matchers?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, because that's like I said, we're sort of relying on all of them under the hood to do the explicit testing. But in the spec itself, we just say use that shorthand version. Again, if you write that kind of a matcher for it, and you test that matcher thoroughly and convincingly, so that you are convinced that it does what you expect it to do, then I would be very happy to be able to include just a single line.
Just a second. What do you mean to test the matcher?
Actually, sorry. Before I forget, let's talk about shared examples next. But what I mean by if you write a matcher like it is expected to validate date, not future,
Yes.
then somewhere under the hood, you implement that in a way that says, if there's this matcher, then what this actually means is it tests the value or the attribute that is passed as a symbol. It tests that attribute to make sure that the date is not in the future.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
So
So basically,
I'll write tests for the test helper also.
basically, yeah. So if you're convinced that, first of all, the validator is working properly, and you're convinced that this matcher, custom matcher that you wrote is working properly, then everything is fine. But what am I thinking of? Am I thinking of? I mean, first of all, you know what we need is. Well, that's exactly it. It's exactly what you're talking about. There's such a thing as RSpec custom matchers. If you can just Google for that and you'll find the documentation for it. I think the last time I implemented one was on website 1. I wonder if I'll be able to find it quickly.
This one, what I found.
Yeah, that looks. Yeah, that looks like what we're looking for.
Control forth. Oh, cool.
Okay, here I'll share the link. This may not be. I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to find tons of better examples of this, but this is the one that I actually wrote some time ago. So I might be able to talk about it a little bit more intelligently. So if you go all the way to the bottom here, the last file is where that matcher is defined. So you see the matcher is here, and then right in the file above it, you can see that the way it gets used is expect mail to have default CC address, and that's it.
Yeah.
So in this case, you would have to.
Mail.cc and this one. Okay.
I mean, you'd have to pass a parameter to it, right? So expect orphan to validate date not in future for something. Let's say start date, but I think it's all doable. So yeah, that would be a good solution considering that this test needs to be replicated in at least, 3-4 models.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to do this as part of the existing PR?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
I think it's related.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for you then, Christian?
Yeah. Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Where is this? Support, helpers, okay. Helpers RP. So I'll put it in the support. Oh, we don't have. New helpers, or create a new model helpers maybe, or validation helper.
Yeah, well, whatever you feel is appropriate. I think maybe validation helpers is a good one if you're gonna. Because if you're thinking of writing these helpers for date not in future, date not beyond OSRA establishment, etc., then that would be a natural place for them, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I'll figure it out.
All right. So, Gabriel, do you have anything to talk about?
Um, I did my last two pull requests were like the same, making some filters to the AA functionality. I take another activity, 371, is related to clarify filter title. This one.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what is what I need to do, or what I should do with the change.
Okay, let's have a look at it. Share my screen here. Okay, so the problem is partner province code. So these are orphan index filters. So let's go to orphans and let's look at the filters. And the point is partner province code, orphan city of origin. Right. Okay. So the problem is here, or just the confusion, is that this filter for province code, it actually refers to because the orphan dealt to partner. So this is not the province of the orphan, but the province of the partner who submitted the orphan list. By contrast, the city of origin is the orphan's city of origin. So to make it clear who these two fields refer to, the suggestion was to rename them to partner province code instead of just province code, and to orphan city of origin instead of just city of origin.
Okay, it's easy. So it's easy.
Yeah, it's basically
I should I should have a test for that, or because
no.
it's not. No. So just change it. That's it.
Yeah, just change it and that's it. I don't think there's anything else to do. If it breaks any tests, then of course you need to fix them. But don't write any tests for it.
Okay. So basically, I will need another task because this is extremely easy.
Yeah, that's not going to take you too long, huh?
Yeah.
So this task is a task of 1, right?
Well, sorry, the difficulty point, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's not even that. We labeled it a bug fix. This wasn't, and yeah, unfortunately, the lowest score we can give it is 1, but I don't think it qualifies even for that.
Yeah, it's more like a 0.1 or something like that.
Yeah, precisely.
If what other tasks I could take?
Yeah, I'm trying to look right now. So we have, if we go look at our pull requests, I guess first of all we still have Brian's, which I guess one of us needs to pick up and finish. But actually maybe more. Yeah.
Yeah, because
so remember what Brian was talking. Yeah. Remember what he was saying on Sunday. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
On Sunday, he said that what you can do is you can submit a pull request on his branch.
Mm-hmm.
So submit a pull request to his repo,
Yeah.
and he'll merge it in, and that update will immediately show up here.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's the way to do it. That way you don't have to clone his branch and submit a brand new pull request. Everything can be just kept within this one.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay. And Gabrielle, for you, since you worked on the orphan controllers and views, maybe you can think about taking this task over from Christopher, this pull request number 335. So he created almost everything that we need for the orphan model within Rails.
Okay.
He asked some questions because what he created was incomplete. Basically, he didn't know how much detail needs to go into everything. But as far as I can tell you, so if you look here, the controller, I can't remember if there was anything. But for example, here, if you look at views for this is the orphans form,
Mm-hmm.
and again, if we go to the orphans form, you can see that it's pretty giant there because orphan has many attributes.
Yeah.
But he only implemented basically name because he didn't know what else needs to go in here. So if you wanted to take this task over from him, then it would be to finish what he had started basically, and to ensure that the controller works the way it should, to ensure that the form contains all the fields, all the orphan fields that should be editable. And I think the same goes for the other views, just making sure that all the attributes that we want to be displayed are displayed.
Okay. So yeah, sure, I can do it.
Yeah.
But he won't take this pull request. He won't finish.
Well, it looks like no at this point because I answered his questions 2 weeks ago.
Ah, yeah.
And there's been no activity on it since.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably pretty safe to assume that we can take it over and finish it.
Okay, sure. But I have a question. It's more related to how I can take this pull request, or how I can do a checkout from the pull request he made. Yeah. It's more related to
Right.
give a question there.
So, since we should, in the case that we were discussing with Brian and Christian, since Brian is still around and he pays attention to OSRA, we talked about that Christian can submit a pull request against Brian's repo. But since Christopher is, it looks like he's away, then the way that you can do it is you can clone. Oops, maybe we should do this live to demonstrate it.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Christian, do you know how to do this? Did we lose Christian?
Yeah, it seems so.
Sorry, I was muted.
Ah.
Well, you can add the remote
Right.
repo of Christopher's OSRA, your local remote, and then do a pull request from his repo, right? Not a pull request, a pull.
You basically you get the branch from him. Okay.
And then you just check out this Christopher OSRA branch.
Yeah. Well, we can do it right now, quickly. Let me share what the whole screen, I guess. Can you see my screen right now, guys?
Not yet.
Not yet. Nope.
No?
Nope. Yep.
Okay, hold
Okay,
on.
it's working now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, working, yeah.
Okay. Make sure I'm not gonna kill anything here. I'm fine. Okay, so I can do git remote me. So you can see I have, this is my local repo, but I have a number of remotes defined. So there's Andre, Brian, Christian, Motosem, Craig. I have all of their repos as remotes on mine. So to add Christopher, I would go to his repo, OSRA, and grab this this URL,
Okay.
and then do git remote. And I think that's the syntax. I always forget.
It's without minus. It's git remote add.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
And then you give it Christopher and then the URL. Like that.
This?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now if I do the same thing, you can see that now I have Christopher as a remote.
Okay.
So what I can do is git fetch
Yeah, fetch. Right.
Christopher. Do you remember, Christian, if I can just fetch a single branch?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I think so. But the way I do it, I usually take
Yeah. Well, I guess there isn't much there, but orphans controller. Well, let me try. I'm just curious if I can do it. No. This. Yep.
Huh.
Okay, so now I have his branch on locally on my computer, so I can do git checkout Christopher orphans controller, and now I am in his branch. But you can see the message here that I'm right now in a detached head state, so I can, all the changes that I make right now will be lost. But what I can do is I can do this. I can do git checkout B, and okay. So what I've done now is I am in my own repo. It's a branch called orphans controller by basically copying Christopher's branch.
Yeah, actually, on the local develop, I've created a new branch.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's correct. So now if I do, you can see it lists all my local branches, including this orphans controller.
If you made a pull request, it's yours, or it will appear like yours or like her?
Yeah. If you make a pull request, it will be yours, but we can do git log. You can see that 1, 2, 3 are Christopher's. So from now on, whatever changes you make, you will be the author, but Christopher will still have those 4 commits in there. So he basically he gets, let's say he still gets credit for his work.
Okay.
And then you get the credit for, or blame, whichever, for the work that you do.
Yeah. It's alright. It's okay. We try. We do it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just quickly, I guess, to wrap this up, what I did, what I've been working on since, I don't know when, the weekend, I guess, is trying to fix this bug that the client reported, which basically had to do with the fact that in their spreadsheets they specify father is deceased, yes or no, but in the application we store it as father is alive, so exactly the opposite basically. And so I've been, I've just submitted a pull request, I don't know, 4 hours ago, that I think fixes all of that. You can see the sort of summary of everything that I've done. I had to be careful again because we're by merging this into production, we're going to manipulate the records in the production database. So we should be careful that migration that does it is well written, and I think it's fairly straightforward. So I don't expect that there will be too many problems. You can see that it's basically this is the migration. It adds the column father deceased, and then it goes through all the records, and for each one it puts the opposite of father alive value into this father deceased. So if father alive is true, then father deceased is false, and vice versa. And after that, all the validations on the orphan model are now written with this father deceased being the kind of the ultimate truth. So if it specifies that father is deceased, and this is true, then all the other fields, for example, date of death is now required, etc. And if father deceased is false, so father is alive, then it validates that those fields are empty, the ones that have to do with details of death. Anyway, so yeah, when you have a chance, please have a look at it. And I know that I need to do some code review and merge some pull requests myself too, so I'll be working on that next, I think.
Okay, sure. We'll make sure this one will not fail.
Yeah. Well, you know, we'll get a chance to test it on develop and then again on staging.
All right.
Because there is on develop, especially, there are something like, I think there are 1,200 orphan records in the database, although they're all identical. Yeah, so it's not exactly a very good test. I think on staging we have a variety of records.
We have access to the database, so we can copy the production to the staging, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
With PC.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay, that's me. Anything else to discuss, guys?
No, this is from me, no?
No.
Okay, sounds good. So I'll see you on Thursday then.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.